And welcome everyone to Futebol No Filter. We are back. I'm here with my co-host Steph Teixeira. Steph, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Episode number 18. Bruno Crack. Com que de crack? Ele esqueceu.
And, we got our amigo Jorginho. Jorginho, how are you, Jorginho?
What up? How's everybody doing?
É mesmo. Okay, I'm your host Bruno Crack. We're going to be talking about the national team. A seleção de todos nós.
Menos os portistas, menos do Porto.
Todos os nossos interesses.
Não, pá, está calado. Tens olhos azuis, mas não és de Portugal.
Não.
Eu já disse a muita gente, o Porto precisa tem que ser como Andorras, fazer a seleção e uma liga só para eles, lá na Andorras.
Não.
E as equipas seria o ETA, seria o Hamas, seria o PLO e depois o Futebol Clube Porto. Isso é o grupo do Porto. Isso é o grupo do Porto.
Se o Porto sair da Liga Portuguesa, Portugal, em termos de coeficiente, ia para o caralho.
Oh my goodness.
Bom, let's move ahead. We're going to talk about 3 games. We're going to talk about Portugal versus Spain, France versus Portugal, and then Portugal versus Sweden. I'm going to let George handle this one. He's going to talk about the lineup with Portugal hosting Spain. So if you have the lineup, George, please read it.
Yes, I'll read a lineup. Just a little FYI. This was the first game that where fans were allowed back in the stadiums in Portugal.
That is correct.
We had 5,000 people in Estádio da Balada, also known as o nosso centro de estágio número 2 do Benfica. Just pick it on Steph today. No, agora a sério.
Mas agora a falar, alguém quer ser relançado ou associado com um clube que nem sabe a data de fundação? Ok, go on.
Ok, o Sporting?
Ok, o Benfica, então vocês ainda estão na dúvida. É 904, 906, 907.
A única coisa que nós temos que saber é 37 campeonatos nacionais, 2 ligas de campeões. E para só aí.
37, se não fossem roubados, eram para aí 7.
Não, está bem.
Pronto, está bem.
Mas vamos lá, mas hoje estamos a falar da seleção nacional.
Exato. Tu começaste, não fui eu, tu começaste.
Não, estou a brincar.
Quando o Porto chegou ao 25º ou something like that, what did all of a sudden inventaram aquela dos mais 3? Não te lembras?
Bruno, tu também está calado com a pitorada, vocês também fossem para arrasar.
No. We're talking about those 3 titles that I think we talked about it once.
Eu já disse offline e digo aqui também. O Porto e o Bruno Crack a falar de campeonatos roubados é como um pedófilo a queixar-se que foram ao cu. Não digas nada, nem digas nada, ok? Nem digas nada.
Exato, olha, eu concordo com os Jorge.
Concordo
com os Jorge, mas os benfiquistas também é que estás do contrário a dizer que não são paneleiros. Vá, avançar.
Ai, pancada. Vamos lá, então.
Foda-se, acalado. Amém. Pai, filhos, por cento, amém. Vamos à missa todos juntos.
Ok, vamos então vamos começar outra vez. Então, primeira vez nos estádios em Portugal com espectadores, 5 mil espectadores, e foi o jogo Portugal.
5%.
Sempre,
5%.
5 mil espectadores.
1.000, não, foi 2.500.
Só foi 2.500?
Foi 5% de
50 mil, 5 mil, 2.500. E foi o jogo amigável, Portugal-Espanha. Então os line-up a Portugal foi Rui Patrício, João Cancelo, Pepe, Ruben Semedo, Rafael Guerreiro, Sánchez, Neves e Moutinho no meio campo, Trincão, André Silva e CR7 up front. Também queres os line-ups dos nossos irmãos? Não, isso não é preciso, nada disso.
Não és dos irmãos, não é preciso.
Não, mas vou falar, mas só...
Diz.
Então, lineup guarda-redes Rizabalaga, Reguilón, Garcia, Llorente, Roberto, Canales, Busquets, Ceballos, Olmo, Moreno e Rodrigo. A young lineup, very young lineup da Espanha. Eu quase que nem pensava que estava a jogar com os sub-21 ou o quê. Só tinha o Busquets no meio e era só jogadores assim, e o guarda-redes, o frangueiro do Chelsea, e eram só eles dois. O Mr. 70 million frangos.
Já vale uma coisa.
Já era uma coisa.
So
Também só uma nota deste jogo que tivemos 2 jogadores que foram mandados para casa due to COVID-19, que foi o guarda-redes o Lopes e foi o nosso central o Mr. Fontes, e depois of course há uns dias atrás foi o Cristiano Ronaldo também, que foi mandado para casa quarantine devido ao COVID-19. Ok. Quem quer falar sobre o jogo? Vocês viram o jogo, não?
Go ahead, Steph.
Ok, tu sabes que o Bruno não fala da seleção.
Eu falo.
Não, ele é muito só da província do futebol com o Porto lá do norte. Ele não fala da seleção.
A única coisa que ele vai falar é porque é que não foram convocados os jogadores do Porto.
Não, porque foram? Por que foram?
Foram convocados. Que ele não queria que o Pepe fosse lá, atenção. Que ele agora vai dizer, se o Porto perder sábado, vai dizer que o Pepe foi queimado.
Já foi queimado.
Pronto.
Foi queimado já. Já começa.
Em vez de dizer que é um prestígio para os jogadores do Porto, é ao contrário do Bruno.
Por acaso, não é.
Não, pronto, ele tem, sabes, um cérebro assim grande, ele tem um cérebro assim pequenino.
Yeah.
Mas anyway, acerca de Portugal, Espanha, well, I'm speaking in Portuguese and I forget this is an English podcast. The game itself, you could tell it was a scrimmage game, it was a friendly game, and no team was going at 100% on this game, and it's understandable because you want to avoid injuries, you want to avoid a yellow card and stuff like that, which counts for the official games. So both Portugal and Spain didn't play to the full capacity they can play. Spain, they dominated most of the first half, and then the second half we played much better. Portugal could have won the game easily. I think we hit the post and twice, yeah, and we had some great opportunities to put the game away. But Spain as well too on the first half. So we could tell that was just a game a practice game, just to get the rhythm going for the next official game, which for Portugal was against Sweden, and for Spain was for Portugal, France, Sweden, and then Spain was against Croatia. Croatia was 2 days ago. They won 2-1. Yes, ganharam 2-1 na Croácia.
Yeah, they played against Croatia yesterday.
They played Croatia.
Yes, they won 2-1.
They're in our group.
Yeah, they won 2-1 on Thursday. Yes,
that's what our group is. Group of 4: Portugal, France, Croatia, and Sweden.
No,
we played Sweden.
But he's saying Spain won.
No, France beat Croatia 2-1 2 days ago.
France. No, he's talking about Spain though.
France, yes.
That's France. Spain after the Portugal game played Switzerland and won 1-0.
And then they lost to the Ukraine.
That's correct.
For the first time in their history.
Exactly. I'm sorry. That was my mistake. So.
Ouvi bem.
Sim, ouviste bem. Tens razão. Para portista que não quer saber da seleção, até está certo.
Mas eu estou a ouvir a ti, não estou a ouvir a seleção.
Exato. Tu és gajo que és bestial com Fiat. But the game against Spain, that's what it was. It wasn't much. It was an ugly game. I mean, that's it. That's what I gotta say. It was not an entertaining game whatsoever. So, Bruno, eu passo a bola.
We'll move right over to France versus Portugal because I did not get a chance to watch the Portugal versus Spain game. I just didn't have the time. So we'll move forward to France versus Portugal. It was the battle for the group. Now going into the game, let's keep in mind that France had the lead in the group at the time. So if Georgie could take over and read up the lineups for the France Portugal game, I would highly appreciate it.
Give me 1 second because I wasn't ready.
Actually, estavas errado. O Portugal estava em primeiro lugar.
I don't. The way I saw it, Steph, I saw France as
No.
in first place.
We had the bola barragem in our favor.
They did. I mean, I saw it. That's how it looked like. George, I have the lineups if you want.
Yeah, I got it too.
Okay, good. You want to read them?
Go ahead. You read the France one.
I'll read the France one. Okay. Hugo Lloris in goal. Benjamin Pavard, Varane, Kimpembe, and Lucas Hernandez in the back. Rabiot, nickname do Steph Rabiot. Rabiot. Kanté e Pogba, Griezmann, Mbappe, and Giroud.
So for Portugal, we have Rui Patricio, Rafael Guerreiro, Ruben Dias, Pep, Nelson Smith, William Carvalho, Danilo Pereira, Bruno Fernandes in the middle, Cristiano Ronaldo, João Félix, e Bernardo Silva up front.
No, you announced it wrong. Flopix.
Mr. João, 126 million nos cofres do Benfica.
Flopix.
Isso é problema do Atlético de Madrid, não é mais problema mix.
Well, do you want to start off about talking the show, or do you want me to, the game, or do you want me to do it?
No, I think it's look. From what I watched, Portugal played a very, very good game. You can. It's funny now because you can tell that the teams that play us now, they play a little bit different. Before it was Portugal playing on the defensive side. A lot of counterattacks. And especially a team like France. We're talking about the defending world champions, and also a rematch of the European Championship, where France team wants to get back at Portugal for that loss for sure. And I think we had France. France was on their toes. France couldn't do much against Portugal, and it was a back and forth game. I think Portugal had good opportunities. Let me just get the stats here for the game, just so we can take a look. Yeah, so shots on net, overall shots 10-10, shots on target 3-3, ball possession Portugal 51%, France 49%. Pass accuracy, 88% for Portugal, 85% for France. Fouls, France had more fouls than Portugal, 19-12. Yellow cards, we had 1. Red cards, none. Offsides, 2-2. Corners, 4 for Portugal, 1 for France. So very
even.
Very even game. Portugal, again, I think Portugal had played a very, very well game. I think the lineups, the midfield, a very balanced midfield. I like William Carvalho Tartaruga with Danilo Pereira, and then Bruno Fernandes a little bit more offensive on the 4-3-3. I think we played an awesome game. I think we played an awesome game, and we didn't play against any third world country team. We played against the defending world champions, and we had them going. So congrats to the team. Very good game.
Steph, your opinion on your homeland, France versus Portugal?
That was just my birthplace, but I'm proud of it though. I do speak French. Je parle français très bien. I'm proud of it. I'm not going to say I'm not, but of course I root for Portugal. My whole family, mom, dad, and They were from Portugal, and you guys do know I bleed Portugal. But it was a good game. It was a good game. France, they had their moments. They had their moments. They could have scored, but I think we clearly had the best chances of putting the game away. And it gave me a feeling that Portugal now playing against the big teams, we're not afraid anymore. That we could win those games, and that's because we have great players that play in the best teams of the world, including Futebol Clube do Porto, which hates to lend those players, but you know the quality of Jota they came from the Porto school is amazing.
Pass Freire school.
And then Porto.
So one. That was it.
Pronto. Wow, I'm giving you credit. What the fuck? You don't even take that.
It's not factual. I'm not gonna take credit for something that's not factual because he only played one season for us.
It doesn't matter, but you know that's why.
Então, onde é que ele foi formado?
Foi no Passo Ferreira.
E depois foi para o Porto. E foi projetado do Porto para a Premier League.
Não, ele começou no Gondomar. Ele começou no Gondomar.
Gondomar para o Passo para o Atlético e do Atlético para o Porto, empréstimo, e depois foi para o Wolves.
Ok, mas pronto, se não fosse para o Porto, não ia para o Wolves, certeza absoluta. Pois não.
Listen, is he a good? Listen, when I saw him on Passo Ferreira, to be honest with you, when I saw him at Passo Ferreira, I thought he was a great finisher. A kid that was 18 years old, and he comes in and he just finishes the way he does. That wasn't normal for an 18-year-old kid. He's a very good player. And when he was on Porto, I mean, he had some good games. He didn't have some so good games. The funny thing is that he was coached by Nuno Espírito Santo, and when he was on Porto, he didn't play as much as he does now, which is still puzzling to me. Same thing with Ruben Neves. When he was on Porto, he didn't play as much with Nuno Espírito Santo. Now when he's with Nuno Espírito Santo, Ruben Neves is always playing. So to me, it's very puzzling, and I don't understand. But that's besides the point. To me, I think he's a guy that we have to start looking at and have to start saying, why is he not a starter on this team?
What do you mean, in Portugal?
Yes.
Well, that's easy to figure it out. Do I need to spell it out for you?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something, and
Go ahead.
I had this argument, not an argument. We had this conversation in the chat, in a chat that we have, a soccer chat that we have with and you know, a lot of my friends calling me crazy because, you know, I'm not the one that goes straight. Só ver uma coisa. You guys all know that I'm like, Bruno knows, I'm like the biggest Cristiano Ronaldo fan. Not only because he's Portuguese, but I like the style of play. I like how he carries himself as far as he's top professional. Whatever he has is because he fought his ass off for. But I got to tell you something right now, today, Portugal plays better without him on the lineup than with him on the lineup. I'm not saying that he's not a great player. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be in the starting lineup. All I'm saying is look at the Croatia game and look at the Sweden game. Again, I think the team as a team, and you guys got to understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I'm saying as a team, we play better because more players are involved in the game than when he's in the lineup. I've always said it, and I'll say it again. I don't think we would have won the game against France in the final of the European Cup if he was in the lineup, because the game is totally different when he's on the field. Is he a great player? Is he a great finisher? Yes. But what I'm saying, nossa seleção, and again, it's not the player's fault. It's subconsciously, when we have the ball and we're attacking, everybody looks for Cristiano Ronaldo, where other players might be in a better position, and sometimes we don't make that extra pass, you know, to a player that's in a better position because, you know, we have to pass the ball to Cristiano Ronaldo. So, and again, he's not going to stop playing. He's not going to stop being in the lineup. Nobody's going to take him out of the lineup. The only way he's going to be taken out of the lineup is the day that he says, you know what, I'm done. Fernando Santos is not going to take him out of the lineup, and he shouldn't take him out of the lineup. But what I'm saying is, my way of looking at it, with these young players now, when you get them all involved, Portugal is a very, 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 very dangerous team. Very dangerous team. Next year we have the
Collectively.
Euro.
Collectively.
Next year we have the Euro Cup. 2 years from now we have the Qatar, the World Cup.
Yeah.
We are going to be a very, very, very dangerous team because of these young kids. And Diego Jota, to me, dude, he's like this last year. He's just evolved. He's just what a player he is. What a player.
I will admit that I don't think he would. I would never imagine him to be as good as he is now. That's my opinion. But I knew he was always a good player. I think he deserved to be a guy that got called up. Yes, I mean he was a guy that should have been called up many times before. But now it's hard to say. It's hard to argue. How is this guy not a starter consistently on this national team? Every time he plays, he scores. The last couple of games, he's had some assists. He's a productive player. Some other guys are not so productive, and they continue to play.
Okay, now, are you guys done?
Fala por favor.
Ok, pronto. Só queria dar o tempo de antena ao benfiquista e ao portista. That's it.
One more thing, Steph. Tirem o Pep da seleção, por favor. Ele está cansado, man.
Olha, digo-te uma coisa. Se fosse por tua vontade, ele não estava lá.
Não estava lá. Nem o Sérgio Oliveira.
But he wants to be there. It's not up to you. The player wants to be there.
Não deixavam.
But it's not up to you. It's not up to Sérgio Conceição, nem é do corrupto Pinta Costa. It's up to the player. If the player say he wants to be there, he's going to be there because he likes to represent the national team, even though he's not Portuguese, he's Brazilian.
Tem mais coração do que alguns portugueses.
Exato, sem dúvida nenhuma. Dou-lhe esse crédito todo, atenção. I respect Pep a lot because he's one of the few players that plays with his whole heart, and he hurts me to see portistas like Bruno not giving him the credit because they're so selfish. But anyway, in regards Cristiano Ronaldo, I think Jorge is wrong. I think if Bruno was thinking the same way as Jorge, is wrong too, because Cristiano Ronaldo, when we need him, he shows up to the big games. Jota played well because when Suecia, they were losing 1-0. That was a perfect game for him and Podence. Fast players, that game, and that would have been a perfect game for Ronaldo. If he played that game, he would have scored 2 or 3 goals for sure. It was counterattack. It was perfect. Jota, I give him a lot of credit. I love the player. I'm not going to say I don't like him because I do, because he knows how to finish. When I saw him playing against Sweden, and the 2 goals he finished with quality, with style, and João Felix, he struggled. You know, you could.
Quem?
Não, peraí, não esteja armado em paro. O João Felix.
Só queria ouvir.
O João Felix maybe lacks a little bit of experience and maturity, and Jota is there. João Felix is not there yet. That's all it is. It takes a little bit longer for certain players than others. The tag fee that Athletic Madrid paid for has nothing to do with the goals he's missing now. Jota is there now. He's ready to play and to score goals. João Felix, because of all the pressure that's put on him, he can finalize. He should have finalized that goal, but he didn't. But with that said, eu não vou criticar o Puto. O Puto é bom. He needs a little bit more of confidence. He needs someone to motivate him. Maybe it's Fernando Santos. Maybe it's his coach Simeone in Athletic Madrid. He needs to be surrounded of people to motivate him. But with that said, Cristiano Ronaldo needs to be there for the big games. When we go to a World Cup, when we go to the semifinals of the Copa das Nações, because that's going to happen before the European, before the World Cup. It'll be around in January, if I'm not mistaken, the semifinal and the final of the Nations Cup. It's the trophy that matters. We're the only country that has that trophy. So let's not minimize the trophy that we have conquered for Portugal, that Portugal has conquered. But Cristiano Ronaldo is essential for the success of Portugal. Is Jota a great player? Yes. Well, maybe one day Ronaldo will have to be on the bench, and then he'll be a good sub to play with. Maybe. I don't know if that will happen, but
Yeah.
I really doubt it too, George. I agree with you. But Cristiano Ronaldo is a player that could hold 2 or 3 defenders and can free somebody else up front. He needs to play. And he's a really fair player. When he's now 100% fit, he's the first one to say I shouldn't play, and he stays on the bench and he doesn't mind at all. So I'm not gonna say Jota he won't be a better player than Ronaldo in the near future. He possibly would. It will never be at the level of Cristiano Ronaldo. Never. I can
I
guarantee.
I don't think anybody's saying that. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that is at the level that we have any one player that's better than Cristiano Ronaldo. We don't have any one player that's better than Cristiano Ronaldo. What I'm saying, and again, Cristiano Ronaldo is going to play. We're not discussing that. What I'm saying is, when the games that he's not playing, I see the team playing. Let me rephrase. I see more players getting involved and the team playing a little bit better because everybody's involved in the attacking side. And you also got to understand something. Cristiano Ronaldo does.
When was the last game we struggled without him?
The last game we struggled without him.
We struggled without him. We had a difficult time winning. We won barely. Was it a couple of games ago? And then
we beat up Croatia 5-1 without him.
Peraí, já vou buscar. Continua a falar que eu já vou buscar o jogo.
We beat up Croatia 5-1.
Without Ronaldo, you're talking about.
Without Ronaldo.
Exactly.
Then we played. Who do we play then after that? Did we play a friendly after that?
It's possible. I don't remember.
No. I think we played Sweden after that, and that's when he played.
We played Luxembourg and we won 2-0, and then 4-1 Croatia, 2-0 against Portugal, Spain 0-0, France, Portugal 0-0, 3-0. But a couple games that he didn't play, we struggled. And all I'm saying is, you want a Ronaldo for the big games. You do. You want the guy for the big games. If you don't,
at least for the decisive games, for sure.
For sure. I mean, I'm not. I adore Jota. I do. Not so Jota, João Felix. I think he'll be decisive later too. Even though Portuguese, they fucking always make fun of him. I think later on he'll be a big piece of the puzzle. We have a good national team. We do.
Which puzzle is that, Steph?
Huh?
Which puzzle is that?
Which puzzle is that? You'll see it later. You guys are, you think só tem que marcar. O João Félix também faz jogar a equipa. Não tem que marcar.
Faz. A outra equipa faz jogar muito.
Então não.
He's not a scorer. He's not a scoring forward.
You're right. He's not a scorer. He's
more of a 10.
He's not a playmaker. He's not nothing on the national. I don't know why he's doing. I'm looking at the lineup right now. I don't know what he's doing here. I don't see what he's doing here.
I don't see the same way as you do, because I watched 90 minutes of the game and I saw him play well and do some great plays.
I don't. I have a different opinion as you.
You only look at the negative plays. It's easy to mount a video of all the negativity of a player, but what about all the good things he did?
I'm still waiting for someone to tell me what he did positive.
Okay, so
Dude, look.
You don't like the national games. Remember, you don't like the national.
For me,
I watch the soccer, but I don't. I sit there and evaluate. I just don't see how. I could see, for example, you're talking about the three guys up front. The three guys up front, Bernardo Silva is one. Diogo Jota has to be the other, and there's Ronaldo.
Bernardo Silva was much worse than João Felix.
But Bernardo Silva does something that he has vision.
Dos piores jogos pela seleção, o Bernardo Silva. O João Félix foi muito melhor que o Bernardo Silva naquele jogo.
I disagree.
Oh, I know.
Look for me.
Peraí, Zé, eu vou dizer uma coisa. Para uma pessoa que é do Porto, que é fã de 100% de futebol com o Porto, a pôr o João Félix abaixo, até fica mal, que ele foi formado pelas escolas do Porto.
Eu entendo, but that's not the point. The point is, Steph, the problem is, no, there's other guys that are here that form from Porto. The problem here, Steph.
Okay.
The problem here, Steph, is that he has no space on this team. Zero. Not on the starting lineup, at least. He doesn't have any space.
I totally disagree with you. But
Okay. And it's okay for you to disagree. We don't have to agree on this. I just don't think that in the starting 11, he does not have any starting spot.
I don't think he's a starter. I don't think I start. I would put.
He is. I think he is.
I would put André Silva playing.
No, André Silva.
Mm-hmm.
He has more chemistry than with Ronaldo. When you're playing with Ronaldo, you have to have André Silva.
Nem joga na equipa dele, como é que ele vai começar pela seleção?
I know no joga.
Oh, yes, he does. Oh, yes, he does. He's one of the top scorers. What are you talking about?
I know no joga. Olha, joga o teu Bas Dost.
Recentemente, o meu Bas Dost, o meu,
É teu não.
o meu, então ele está ali no meu backyard a comer relva.
A passar com as vacas.
Agora estás a dizer que eu estou associado com o Frederico Varandas?
I'm saying, Steph, that André Silva does play. Now we're talking about compatibility. We're not talking about names. We're talking about compatibility, and that's the problem with a lot of people in the NLS.
Okay,
They look at names, not compatibility.
E o João Félix jogou com o Ronaldo no último jogo?
This last one, no.
Okay, but that's a comparison you gave me.
Okay, but
jogou
o André Silva jogou com o Ronaldo. Não jogou no último jogo.
Jogou com a Suécia.
We're talking about France
Primeiro
versus
jogo da
Portugal.
Suécia.
Ok, mas não agora.
E até jogou bem, até jogou bem contra a Suécia, que deu passo para o Cristiano Ronaldo, jogou muito bem contra a Suécia.
You know what this tells me? It's that Portugal finally has some depth.
Yes, they have a lot of depth.
But I'm not going to discount o João Félix because o Bruno não gosta dele.
Listen, again, I'm just debating.
Formado no Porto, atenção.
I don't care where he was developed.
You don't like the fact he switched Porto to Benfica. That's why
you don't have quality.
Na garganta.
If you don't have quality to play on the national team, you should not be called. Because there were players in the past
that had quality
to play on the national team.
But he has quality.
And they were not
quality. You can't say that. You can't say that. He has quality. He has. Who are you going to call up instead of him?
I'm not saying. I'm talking about in the past. There were players that had more than enough quality to play on the national team, and they were not called to certain tournaments.
Like who?
Agreed or disagreed?
Like who? Tell me.
Oh, for this.
Foda-se, não, então estás aí a dizer quem, caralho?
O Quaresma, quando estava no Porto, quando é que foi chamado ou convocado pelo Scolari?
Foi quando,
Zero.
Foi quando ele merecia. Agora,
quando merecia. Então foi o melhor jogador da Liga e quando não merecia.
Mas agora a gente está a falar no Scolari há tanto tempo atrás.
Bruno,
há tanto tempo atrás.
O Scolari em 2002 não convoca um dos melhores jogadores do Brasil. Um dos melhores jogadores da história do Brasil, que era o Romário. E há coisas que há não convocações que não têm nada a ver com se o jogador é bom ou se é mau.
Com a qualidade.
Não tem nada a ver com a qualidade, tem a ver com outras coisas.
Com o chemistry.
Não é só o chemistry, pode ser o balneário em si, não é? Há pessoas que... Porque é que o teu Sérgio Conceição não quis que o Quaresma voltasse agora para o Porto?
Claro. Porquê?
Não.
Porquê?
Ok.
Então não falas disso. Então
porque é que não fala?
I mean, the guy's 37 years old.
Está velho. Já não sei.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he's 37 years old. He doesn't feel like he's fit. Huh?
Que idade é que tem?
It's a different story.
Pois eu sei que sim, porque não te convém. Doesn't fit your
Não tem nada a ver.
Pois não.
Não tem nada a ver.
Estás a ver, Bruno?
Vocês, olha, o problema é este. E algumas coisas tens razão, outras coisas tu só vês o vermelho. Tu não querias o Renato Santos na convocatória para o Euro 2016 e ainda gramaste com ele, ainda marcou lá 1 ou 2 golitos decisivos. Ainda jogou na final e coisa. Está bem? E qual foi esse golo?
Foi contra a Polónia.
E o que é que causou esse golo?
Okay. And what about the other ones? That other guy scored. That didn't count.
But
it didn't happen.
But you didn't want him in the team.
Dude, there was other players I felt that were better. I still say till now that Sanchez can't play on the national team.
But you're not the coach. The same way Scolari was the coach, and he does his lineup. Your thing is you always have the conspiracy theory. Este não foi convocado porque é do Porto, ou porque é Jorge Mendes, ou porque é isto, ou porque é aquilo. E os outros que não são convocados.
And you're going to say it's not true?
E os outros que não são convocados.
Who should have been called at this time? Who should have been called that was not?
This was a bad lineup, you think?
What?
Against France?
Against France, it was a bad lineup?
I think it was a little too conservative.
Okay, so who do you think should have been called? Let me see.
In terms of what?
Well, you telling us, you asking us.
I've always said, and you know this, I've always said that Danilo and William are not compatible.
Well, they proved you wrong.
Not necessarily.
Yes, necessarily. Against Sweden, they proved that them two, they are compatible. They played a great game together. Against Sweden, we gave them no chance in the midfield, even though they had a couple chances to score goals, but they played great together.
Again,
we played a different formation against Sweden too.
But you know,
we didn't play the 4-3-3.
But you know what was relevant about Danilo? He was fully motivated. He was a player of Paris Saint-Germain. He was fully motivated. Fully motivated. Fully.
So let me ask you a question, Bruno. I already know the answer. So you're saying that William Carvalho and Danilo Pereira, they can play together. So in your eyes, you're gonna see you were gonna say Moutinho and Danilo.
No. I think it has to be one or the other to play the six. It either has to be William or has to be Danilo. I don't feel they can play both. That's just my opinion. What he does is he leaves Danilo as a 6 and he leaves William more as an attacking player as an 8. The problem is, in my opinion, William is too slow to play the 8.
For this,
that's just my opinion.
He's too slow, and he played a great game against Sweden and against France.
I think.
I don't know if he had a great game against France. He played okay against France.
The trick about Williams, eu vou dizer-te uma coisa que vocês não estão à espera. Ele é um rato do caralho. Mas atenção, eu não vou estar a julgar o caráter de uma pessoa e o jogador em si. Ele de caráter não vale um piso. Mas, como jogador, ele sabe pausar o jogo. He has a great vision. He's a great player. And that's why Portugal needed for the longest time. Ele tem uns pezinhos de lã. Ele sabe segurar a bola, sabe pausar a bola e tem visão de jogo. Who do you want to replace him with?
See, I think my opinion is that those two players playing, and I'm not a big fan of William Carvalho because I do think he's a little bit slow. But my thing is that when you have a lineup like our lineup against Sweden, for example, there's so many attacking players that you need those two. Technically, they're two old midfielders, which is Carvalho and Danilo.
And that's what he did against France. He played more defensively against France and looked to counterattack.
My question to both of you: who would you play instead of William Carvalho?
You have a couple of options.
Okay, say it.
Moutinho is one.
So Moutinho is faster than William Carvalho.
Yes, he is.
You think so?
I think so.
Estás maluco da cabeça.
Ok.
Estás maluco da cabeça. Ele até pode dar 4 passos a mais porque ele tem a perna mais curta. Mas não é mais rápido. Certeza absoluta. Garanto-te. Não é.
I disagree. But
You disagree. Pronto, está bem. Então, se pensas que a maçã podre é mais rápido que o rato do William Carvalho, estás errado.
Okay. There's another option. Who could be Bruno Fernandes drop as an 8 because he can play that position.
Okay, I'll agree with that one.
And you can move Bernard Silva into the middle, which I think he would be much more dangerous in the middle versus on the outside.
Possibly. I'll agree with that one too.
Pronto.
Aí está bem. Aí já me calo, não tenho argumentos, não é?
Those are two guys.
Check out our bench, dude. We were talking about
Tactically, we're talking. Hold on a second. Sorry, George. Tactically, those are two options, three options that you have. Because again, you can throw in Ruben Neves, who's having a good year at Wolves. He's been having a good year at Wolves. You have Bruno Fernandes. You have João Moutinho, who's also having a very good year at Wolves. The number 10, in my opinion, that has to play is Bernardo Silva because he has a different type of dynamic.
Mas pronto, é como o Jorge disse há bocadinho.
E atenção, ele veio dos escola do Benfica.
By putting Danilo and William Carvalho together, you're giving preference to the defensive, the defense. That's what tens dois strings praticamente.
That's
why.
I don't think you're giving preference to the defense. You're just balancing the team because you have so many other attacking pieces. I just think you're balancing. I don't think you have the one player that could play that role by themselves. We need two because we have so many attacking players that when we lose the ball, they could be caught out of position. That you need those two holding midfielders to cover spaces.
O Bruno,
my opinion.
O William Carvalho, taticamente, é jogador perfeito. He can play number 6, number 8, and center back. He's played center back before. And that's why coaches love him. Ele é polivalente, praticamente. And that's why he's a bit slow. I'm not disagreeing with that. But you put him in number 6 position, he'll be reliable. You put him in a center back position, he'll be reliable. You put him in a number 8 position because of his great vision. O passe dele é muito preciso. He's reliable too. And then
check this comment out from David Pereira because this kind of this comment kind of goes by what you're saying, Steph. France has size and skill dynamic that Danilo and William were better suited to play against than Moutinho and Neves. That comment I agree with, and I can see why he did it. Do I feel that they're so compatible? I don't, because if you're going to play with two center defensive mids like he did in this game, it was too defensive. If he played with a different player that was a little bit more attack minded, I think that Portugal could have went to France and beat them again. That is my problem. That is my issue with the lineup.
But we didn't need to win in France. The tie for us is very good.
We could have won, but we could have won.
But why can't Portugal go to France and beat them? Why do we have to play for the tie? They can play for the win.
I don't think we play for the tie.
No, we didn't play for the tie. I mean,
but you gotta show some respect. You got some. You got some crazy players on the other side, my man.
You got
some crazy.
You did respect in France now. I mean, we went to the Stade de France. We played against France, a great team, the world champion, and we are the European champs, which you don't give a shit, apparently, Bruno. I'm sorry to say, but you don't care about it because you've said it several times. Maybe today you do a little bit because we dedicated podcasts to our national team. But, you know...
a seleção dos interesses.
Não é nada. É que tu... Na tua cabeça, tu tens um cérebro muito pequenino.
Não é na minha cabeça.
Falta-te vitamina D.
Mas,
D de dick. Mas olha, eu vou dizer-te uma coisa. Our national team looks good. And I'm not disagreeing with you. Against Sweden, Danilo and William Carvalho, they were the perfect dupla because they're a very physical team. And we needed 2 physical players, and those 2 did the job. And that's why we won 3-0, and Jota could finish. And thank God we have an amazing geração coming up. It's not only Jota. If you look at our sub-21 team, we have amazing players.
That's sub-21. We don't even need to go to sub-21. Look at our bench. Nelson Smith.
Of course.
Or the U23. I mean, if there was such a thing as a U23, because there's a lot of players that were on the U21 squad that are no longer eligible for U21.
Yeah, but look our bench the way it is now. Nelson Smith, Ruben Smith, Sergio Oliveira, João Moutinho, André Silva, Varela. I don't know why Varela was the backup or whatever.
Varela is a goalkeeper. Just because he didn't work out at Benfica doesn't mean shit.
No, I'm not saying that. Rafa, Renato Santos.
Porque o Antino Lopes estava com COVID-19, foi por isso que o chamaram.
Bem, mas foda-se. E não tens outros guarda-redes?
Quem? Diz-me quem. Pronto,
Tens
tá. Quem?
O Cláudio Ramos?
Tens o. Ficaste com question mark. Tens o quem? Não tem
Não,
mais
o
ninguém.
Roger foi, you didn't ask me.
Ok, go ahead, Bruno.
I said Cláudio Ramos.
E o Maxi? E o Maxi do Sporting?
Não,
o Maxi do Sporting?
não tem jogado.
Não tem jogado também, né?
Estava no Covid-19 e depois veio para trás e o Adam tem titularidade e agora o Ruben Amorim não vai tirar um guarda-redes está por do Sporting para dar ao Maxi.
E o outro, o velhote, o 37, 38 anos também, o ex-Porto que foi para o Sevilha, também jogou no Sporting.
O Beto.
O Beto também, tens o Beto.
Não, está no Eixões agora. Não. O Varela foi uma boa escolha que ele está firme no Guimarães. He's been playing well. I mean, I'm not against it. I think he's a good goalkeeper. Ele foi queimado no Benfica. I hate to say that. But...
E depois ainda temos o Renato Santos, temos o Trincão. He's gonna be a beast.
I think so too.
Ruben Neves, Daniel Podence.
And George, I'm glad that you brought up Trincão because he's a guy that has come off the bench and he's shown a lot more than João Felix, for example, on the national team.
Yeah.
But again, why do they play João Felix?
Okay, but don't be surprised if Fernando Santos will play Trincão and put.
I don't know that. I'm going to argue. I don't agree that he will do that.
I'm not asking for your opinion or your agreement. I'm just saying he might. I don't know anything.
I'm just telling you that he won't do that.
Oh, pronto, lá estás tu, tens uma bola de cristal, ok?
I'm just telling you. Let's see if it ever happens, but you'll see that it won't.
Opa, não sei se vai acontecer ou não. But, you can't discount João Felix the way you do. You make him sound like he's a piece of shit.
No, what I'm saying is there's plenty of players that are well ahead of him. I'm looking at the bench right now. André Silva, we already discussed. Daniel Podence, he's another player that I think...
O André Silva é ponta de lança.
Okay, when you're playing with Ronaldo and Ronaldo and André Silva together, they play with two strikers.
Okay, but when do you play with two strikers?
They do play with two strikers. When they play together, they play with two strikers.
When do we play? When do we play?
We play enough. We play enough time.
Okay, we play with a less physical team. When we played against Sweden, you couldn't afford to play with two strikers.
Why not?
Because you have to fortify the midfield, senão a gente não ganha. Achas que a gente vamos ganhar com dois ponta-lanças contra a Suécia?
We've done that in the past.
No, we haven't. We played against Ronaldo in contra-ataque e toma aí e ele marca os gols. You're never going to win against a physical team.
With two strikers. Oh, you crazy. By the way, did you forget that André Silva is not, he's a physical player?
He's a physical player dentro da área. Ele não corre muito. Ele fica sempre dentro da área.
No, yes he does. Of course he does.
Corre na zona dele, onde tem que correr.
Estás louco.
Oh, estou louco por ti, meu.
Another guy that I think that deserves to be at least get more minutes on the national team is Daniel Podence because he's actually doing really well on Wolves at the moment.
Claro que não. Discordo completamente.
And you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, claro, e tu também estás entitled to your stupid opinion. Mas I gotta tell you, estou a brincar. Mas o Daniel Podence para entrar tem que tirar o Jota. Eu prefiro o Jota.
Jota has to be a starter now.
Claro,
sorry.
Concordo 100%. Não vou dizer que não.
They have to figure out a way where he's got to have to be the starter. Obviously with Ronaldo, and then it's got to be Bernardo Silva.
Atenção, eu concordo que o Podence ser chamado à seleção, mas quando o Fernando Santos, when he put him in, when he subbed him in, that was the perfect time. Having Jota and Podence in both wings, perfect.
It's dangerous. Perfect.
Here's one for you, Steph. Leão could be called to play striker.
Não, o Leão pode morrer amanhã que não faz falta nenhuma. O Leão é um cabrão que não vale um piso. O Leão, he should never play for the national team. He has no backbone. He's a piece of shit. That's all I have to say about Leão.
Ó, Jorge, e eu é que sou o cego, né?
Eu sei.
Tu é que és só clube.
Achas que o Leão... Espera aí, até tens razão, Bruno. Agora fiquei um bocado cego. É o meu Sportinguista.
Mas eu concordo, o Leão pode morrer, e para a terceira divisão, a quarta divisão, pode morrer, pode.
Vai com a águia e com o dragão que nem existe. Mas atenção. O Leão, para mim, é um jogador que na seleção lá até nunca vai lá chegar.
No, o Leão has some skill. He could be a very good player.
He's too
He
slow.
could be a very good player. I don't know about that, but you could tell that he's got the eye for the ball. He's got it.
He won't go too far in life because he thinks he's a crack. Já está até no rap, a fazer rap. Eu sou o Leão.
I don't think it's his father. I think it's his father.
No. Listen.
I think it's his father.
O puto é cheio de manias, and because of that, he's not going to go far in life. AC Milan was the furthest he'll ever get. In the seleção no sub-21, he's okay, but I was expecting him to do more. Sincerely, I mean,
I agree with that. He should be doing more. If he's at a team like AC Milan, he should be doing more.
Much more. He's a sub in AC Milan.
Oh, but that's the problem. That is the problem. That's the problem with these players. They just go to any team.
George, he wanted to move up too quick. I mean, he was at Lille and he was fine. He didn't have to do what he did.
Diz-me uma coisa, mas alguém acredita que se o João Félix tivesse ficado mais um ano no Benfica que não fazia melhor, não fazia bem?
Claro que sim.
Ele teve a oportunidade, porque o Manchester City ofereceu-lhe o mesmo contrato que ele recebeu no Atlético de Madrid, só que emprestavam um ano ao Benfica e pagavam o salário, e ele não quis, porque não querem ser imigrantes, querem dizer que jogam no Madrid, no Atlético, ou neste ou naquele, e they go to the wrong they go to the wrong team. That team that plays the wrong style of soccer for him. It's not his style of soccer. It's not his style of soccer. And now his progression is going to slow down because he's not going to be able to play for Simeone. The way Simeone plays, the style of soccer that Simeone plays, and now with Suarez over there and Diego Costa, he's la Deus.
Have you seen the movie with Brad Pitt? It's called Moneyball.
Ouvi falar, mas nunca vi.
Okay, you gotta watch that. Watch that movie, Moneyball. It's a little bit about João Félix. They accelerate his progression so much that if there's too much pressure on the kid. The kid is a good soccer player, a football player, but the thing is, there's certain times of your life you have to take a step back and slow down. Like, olha, o Vitor Pinho está a dizer o Pedro Gonçalves to the A team. Why? Because he scored 2 or 3 goals. Another player, if you accelerate Pedro Gonçalves too much, you won't be able to handle the pressure. You have to take your time. I don't
think the kid. That's one thing that I don't think he. I don't think he really feels the pressure. He seems like he's very loose. O Félix
na seleção nacional. I agree with Bruno. He doesn't perform at the level we expecting him because of the pressure. Everyone is expecting too much from him. And
I don't think it's that.
Olha, when he missed a goal against France. All of a sudden, you saw the tweets. Epá, como é que um jogador de 120 milhões falha aquele gol? Foi outro gol contra a Suécia. They just focus on that one play. They don't focus about every little thing he did throughout the game. It's just that one play. They put the pressure on the kid.
Steph, the problem that I have is that what you're talking about is everything else. He doesn't do everything else.
He does, actually, because you're not seeing because you don't want to see it.
No, I see. I'm watching like I watch every other player, and I don't see the same thing that you do.
I do, actually.
I don't, and a lot of people see the same thing.
You know what? So go back and watch the games, and you'll see some amazing plays you did. Epá, eu não sou benfiquista, eu vejo o jogo por jogo e os jogadores como eles são, eu não vou estar sempre a martelar no puto só porque vocês esportistas não gostam dele.
Não é só os esportistas.
Então quem é mais?
É como pessoas que sabem ver futebol.
Devem saber muito, devem.
Ai, não.
Pois, quem é mais?
There's plenty of people that
Quem
have.
é mais?
Okay, you know what? You look at the Spanish press, and they hammer him all the time.
Oh yeah, but
They hammer everything that's Portuguese.
Nah, that's an old. Yes, you're right to an extent, but when it was Ronaldo, when he would do well, they had to praise him, and they did.
So you look.
Ronaldo went to Spain when he was 26 years old. He's 19. He's 19 years old. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, but I'm sorry, George, but the problem is that he does not live up to expectations. He's been put on the national team and he does not produce.
Okay, so the last game he played for Atletico Madrid, they said he was a phenomenal player.
No, that was the second to last game.
No, that was the second to last game.
Okay, so what about the second of last game, like you said? Wasn't he praised by the Spanish league?
He was. So that goes out. So that goes out the window when people say that the Spanish press hammers on Portuguese players.
Okay, there it is.
Bruno, you got to get over the fact that he cost 126 million. They paid 126 million not for what he's worth today. They paid 126 million for what they think he's going to be worth in the future. The Ferrangueira that we were talking about, that was the goalkeeper for Spain. They went to Athletic Bilbao, Chelsea, and they paid his clause almost 80 million euros, and now they're giving him away for free.
Well, yeah, they want to get rid, but they can do that. They can throw out 80 million like that because they have way more money. But
I guess Atletico has it too.
Atletico,
you went to get Kung Fu Nakajima for 12.5, and you sent him to Japan, and he stayed there for like 6 months, and you didn't want him back.
I didn't want him back. Why would I want a player like that back? You're not producing for the club.
Okay, so the numbers are different, but it's in the same thing. You have 12.5 million. You have 12.5 million to throw away.
No, George. It's like this: when you make an investment like that, you demand results. Period.
You don't demand results. The guy could have been sold for 150 million this year. Athletic could have made their money back plus 30 million, and they chose not to.
I don't agree with that.
You mean Athletic scouts don't know what the hell they're talking about? Manchester United scouts don't know what they're talking about.
The president came out from Atletico Madrid and said that he paid 120 million for a player that he never even saw play. That goes to show you.
But they also said that they turned away 150 million.
That what?
That he turned away an offer for 150 million.
I don't believe that. I think that's bullshit because if they had a chance to make their money back and some, they would have done it.
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think so.
I do. I don't think that.
Why do you say that? What's Haaland from Borussia Dortmund? Dortmund bought it for 15 million. They could have sold it for 70 million. They chose not to. They could have made their money and they could have just let him go. But why make 70 when they could make 120 or 130 in 2 years?
Exactly. That is my argument with Fabio Silva. I agree with that. And not to mention they need a goal scorer because ever since they lost Lewandowski, they never won the title again.
So why do you doubt then that a team could be taking the same approach with Joe Felix?
They ever had such an offer. I don't believe they ever had such an offer. I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. If they had an offer of 150 million euros, I'm sure that Atletico Madrid would take it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So let me ask you guys a couple of questions. Do you think our left wing, who's our left wing in the national team?
Who?
The left winger.
Fullback, the left fullback.
Oh, left fullback. Oh, Guerreiro.
Who should be? Guerreiro can take him out.
Okay, so who could replace Guerreiro?
As a left back?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I don't think that there's a lot of left backs in Portuguese left backs that could come in and play.
Seriously.
Então, who else? O Manafá? There's Manafá?
No, he's talking about the young kid from Sporting.
I mean that's a guy, but is he ready for that type of level of soccer? We'll see.
Why not? Why not?
But okay, Steph. So why?
Which one are you talking about? The one that scored the crazy goal against Paços Ferreira?
Yes, that one. Or Portimonense.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. No,
Okay.
Paços Ferreira.
Nuno Mendes.
Yeah,
So,
that was a bad goal. That was bad. That was sick.
Steph. So it's simple. The next time that there's a seleção, why doesn't Fernando Santos call a kid like that?
I don't know.
Sure you will. I'm sure you will.
I don't know why.
I'm sure you will.
That's a good question because Guerreiro is hurt. Who's going to replace him?
É como é que chama aquele? O Mário Rui, right? That's the one that's called.
No, acho que o Rui Silva que estava.
Do Napoli.
Do Napoli.
Do Nápoles, é o puto do Nápoles. Mas não tinha, mas ele não foi convocado. Foi o Rui Silva que foi convocado. Quem é este gajo?
Exato. Não foi
I don't know who that guy is.
Claro, não foi ele.
Granada, somebody from Granada. Who is this guy? I don't even know who he is.
It's one of these guys that have left Portugal very young, just like Bruno Fernandes.
No, this guy is the goalkeeper. This guy Rui Silva is the keeper.
Yeah, he's a keeper. Foi convocado o Nelson Semedo, Ruben Semedo, Sérgio Oliveira, but now we're going to midfield. Forwards, it was defense.
Braga left back.
Sérgio
Well, listen. We played with. We don't have a left back. Does Cancelo plays both sides?
No, David Pereira is talking about Skater.
I think he could.
David Pereira is talking about
Skater. Foi o Skater. Sim, aí está. O Skater que jogou uns minutos e que não vale uma merda, ninguém conhece.
Oh, Skater, I don't even see him
there.
O
Skater é do Braga. É do Braga.
I don't see him in the subs.
He might be under a different name.
Yeah, o Skater foi campeão nacional de futebol de praia de Braga.
See, I don't see him here.
I'm kidding, but não vale piso. And he was called for the national team. It's a joke. É parte do carrossel. Pronto, do menos.
Do carrossel do menos. So, hold on a second. Agora, vamos lá ver. O Bruno and his conspiracies, is it right or is it wrong?
No, you're still wrong.
Pois, agora é wrong.
You're still wrong.
With what?
Os interesses. A seleção dos interesses.
Não, o Sequeira não tem lugar na seleção portuguesa de maneira alguma. If Fernando Santos called him because of his experience, I'll give him 5% de desconto. Mas o puto de Nuno Mendes é um bom substituto do Guerreiro. Não estou a dizer que ele está acima do Guerreiro, atenção. But he is a good sub for Guerreiro.
Why not? But hold on a second. Why not? Because Guerreiro has not performed that great as a defender.
Oh, maybe
What?
he is.
You're sick, dude.
O Guerreiro has been performing well.
As a defender.
I love that kid.
On Dortmund, he doesn't play left back. On Dortmund,
he could play three positions.
Okay.
Like you said and George said, Nuno Mendes, is he ready for that level? I think he is, because he played at the A squad of Sporting, and he's shown that he made us forget about Acuna. We don't even remember who the fuck is Acuna anymore. Don't get me wrong, I love Acuna, but he's been played really well. Really well. The substitute for him is Antunes. It says a lot, doesn't it?
Well, I'm going to disagree with David Pereira here. It says him at 30 is more reliable than Mins. Mins can't play 90 minutes. Conditioning is shit. I disagree with that, because he plays in a 3-4-3 on Sporting, and that's a lot of running that you got to do. Yep. As if you play in a 4-3-3 as a left back, you're not nearly making as much runs as you're doing in a 3-4-3.
Thank you.
So I disagree with David 100%. 100%.
Me, I disagree 200%. O Sequeira é bom para o futebol de praia, outra vez. Não tem lugar na seleção. Aquilo, só quem está a fumar marijuana é que pensa que o gajo é bom para a seleção. Mas há alguém na sua cabeça, assim, O Fernando Santos errou completamente. Errou completamente. Como é que pode ser mais esquerda? Devia estar bêbado, com cachaça, ao caralho.
He's just trying them.
Até ele nem é titular no Braga. Como é que ele pode jogar na seleção?
Here's another one, David Pereira, but he's 18. Okay, so
what?
Ronaldo shouldn't have been called to the national team in Euro 2002.
So if you're 18 and a great baller, you shouldn't be called to the national team.
Yeah, exactly. I disagree with that. If you're at a higher level, and it doesn't matter if you're 18 or not, you got to be called to the national team. That's it. And even if Pep, so people could say, "Oh, well, Pep is 37. He shouldn't be playing on the national team or Portugal, whatever, because he's 37." That means nothing. If you got it, you got it.
O Ronaldo também não ia jogar, já tem 33.
Não, tem 36 já.
Oh, pronto, olha, ele estava a fazer mais novo.
So, I mean,
já não serve.
Já não serve. Assim já não serve. I mean, listen, when the guy's productive, the guy's productive. Unfortunately for Skata, there's other options. Do I disagree that Fernando Santos brings them to the national team camp and wants to look at him more closely? Yeah, you could. There's no problem calling the kid and checking him out.
Okay.
But if he's not good enough, then he's not good enough, and that's it.
I'll go with that. I'll bite that. Yeah, you know.
Why can't you? I mean, you do a call up. Why can't you take a look at men's? And because I don't think that Guerreiro has been in the best form. I have seen a couple of national team games where he doesn't look great.
The last game, I think he played phenomenal.
Which one? I mean, against Sweden.
Yes, I think he played. I think he played well, not above average, but he played well enough. I see the point of view of David Pereira. He's 18 years old, but for 18 years old, he's shown a lot of maturity playing for the A squad of Sporting, and he has owned the left position, the left fullback position. He has made us forget about Acuna, which is very difficult to do. Acuna was an international from Argentina, and he was a great player, Resud, and he gave it all for Sporting. And Nunes being only 18, like David Pereira is saying, he's shown phenomenal progress. Of course, we don't know how we'd behave in the A squad, but in the sub-21, the last goal que o Gonçalves marcou foi uma combinação com o Nunes, o Bragança, e o Bragança que deu o passe para o striker marcar, o Gonçalves. Atenção, you have to watch the whole play. It was Nunes com o Bragança, e o Bragança, he gave it to the striker of Portugal, e ele só teve que encostar a bolinha. Aquilo foi uma jogada a Fernando Gomes.
And that's probably what I mean. Well, we can't say that. I mean, Portugal right now has Ronaldo, and he's an excellent striker. The problem is that when Ronaldo leaves, are we going to have a striker that is so efficient? And that's the big one. Hopefully,
confidence, yeah.
Confidence and efficient, because you have to be efficient in front of goal. Some guys are not so efficient.
Mas as pessoas têm que prestar atenção, não é só a quem marcou o golo. Tem que prestar atenção como que o golo nasceu. Not on defense. This coach, let me read the comment again. This coach takes his back line very, very, very seriously. He's talking about Fernando Santos.
Fernando Santos, yeah. Which is fine. I mean, obviously, he's a defensive-minded coach.
É conservativo.
He's been always very defensive-minded.
Yeah, David is right about that.
Yeah, and
I don't think he's defensive-minded. I think he's very balanced. He wants a very balanced team.
Very defensive-minded.
É conservativo, but it shows results. I mean, the national team has never performed this good until Fernando Santos. I hate to tell you, but we've won under Fernando Santos Europeu, Nations Cup. What else can you ask for the men? And we've been playing well.
Well, this is where I disagree with David, where Jeff Font will be back soon and he's 37.
Nah.
I don't think you're going to see Pep being the starters at 37 years old. It's just not happening.
You're going to see what? You're going to see what?
Pep and Font, the two starters.
No, you're not taking Ruben Diaz out of that team anytime soon.
O Jeff Font é downgrade. at this point in time.
He's a solid backup, and that's about it.
Not even anymore. You have some up and coming center backs that you need to give them, a place to.
Who do we have? That's a position. That's a position we had so many before, and now it's like I don't see them anymore.
I disagree, Steph.
You disagree?
Okay. The A team, highly disagree with that. Highly disagree.
I don't, because you guys have a short-minded. You only think about the big names, but you have so many quality at Porto, Benfica, Sporting that all they need is a chance to prove themselves. And
I'm only talking about my club. I'm not even talking about the others. I just think that the guys that we have are not good enough.
I think my guys are good enough. I mean, one of them, he broke his collarbone. No national team with Quaresma. He's out for 2 months at least. You complain
I think if José Fontes is out, he probably calls Bruno Alves instead of anybody else.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I was about to say that too, George. To be honest with you, if he's gonna call somebody, it's definitely gonna be somebody else. Not being Bruno Alves, it's not gonna be anybody else. Listen, I don't think Diogo Leite is gonna be good enough to play for the national team. He's gonna be a Diogo Leite. He's a player that's still under development. He's not nearly close, not even ready to start for Porto, let alone the national team. Diogo Queiroz just went to Famalicão. We have Jorge Fernandes, that's Guimarães. We'll see how he does there.
Jorge Fernandes, Guimarães, eu estou aqui. Onde é que é o Guimarães? Eu não estou em Guimarães.
Jorge Fernandes é o Jorge, é o portista.
Esse então não, Cruzes.
You have o Quaresma from Sporting that needs to have a full-time opportunity where he's just going to be playing. We'll see how he continues his development. There's still a lot of young guys. You have o Ferro from Benfica. We have to see how he's going to adapt now because he seems like he's the fourth option, not even the third option at Benfica. So there's a lot of players that are still fifth option. Okay, even the fifth option. And then what are you going to call Orlando do Braga?
No.
He's 30. He's 30 something.
No, you have. Não, foda-se. Agora o Rolando. O Rolando já passou de moda, meu. Foda-se.
O Semedo, I mean, maybe you can call him.
Veja, o Semedo seria o próximo, seria o Semedo.
O Semedo, o pessoal fica sem as carteiras, caralho. Chega ao balneário, já não há carteira. Não, meu. Tens o Diogo Queiroz, tens o Diogo Leite.
No, sorry.
Sorry.
They're not good enough.
Okay.
They're not good enough.
But they're up and coming. I would rather have youth than José Fontes, que he's good for 45 minutes and then that's it. Acabou.
He's a good player. He's a good player.
Então, olha, what about o Neto?
Não.
Pois.
Esse aí deixou muito a desejar.
Yeah, I don't know. Steph, honestly, I don't know what happened.
Sporting, quanto mais na seleção. I agree with you 100%.
Steph, I don't know what happened to the guy. He was a good player when he was at Zenit. He was a good center back. And I don't know if the guy forgot how to play soccer, forgot how to defend, but he's not even 10% of the player that he used to be.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing. I mean, he's been playing okay. But I'm going to tell you something, just a little preview of Sporting Porto. If Porto is smart, they'll pressure him when he's got the ball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. E aí é que vocês vão ganhar o jogo. You pressure Neto when he's got the ball. And that's where you win the game.
Vocês não se chateiem. Um empatezinho a 0-0. Ficam contentes. Vão os dois para a discoteca juntos. E não é tanto o seu controle.
Eu quero que o Porto leve no cu para uns 4-0 assim.
This one in Braga, David Carmo took over the number one center back spot. Rolando was souvenir for Amorim. I'm going to tell you something about this guy, David Carmo. He's a chunqueiro. He commits a lot of fouls that are very...
É do Porto, é do Norte.
Não é nada, é do Braga.
Pois é do Norte. Até e o Braga onde é que é? No Sul? Oh, que caralho.
Que interessa?
Então não interessa não. Ainda mais ao Norte.
Então, he never, whatever, I don't care where he's from. He's
Então,
not good.
Vão ao FC Canelas e vão buscar o Madureira que ele joga a central logo lá. Ele está a aprender essa porcaria logo.
Ele é ponta de
então
lança,
vou lá para aí, vou lá eu para essa merda. Eu também achei que é isso.
Mas não temos assim muitos centrais. Antes era uma posição que em Portugal havia lá até mais não. E agora,
now it's been a little bad.
Temos, mas they just up and coming. They still a little bit green.
You know, George, the position that Portugal used to struggle with heavily was striker. Now we have a good amount of strikers.
Yeah, we do.
Não, tu tens um striker, mas tu não tens. Isso aí também estás aí só bullshit. Nós tens um striker, mas não tens o número 9. Nós, quando falamos em striker, é o número 9, o matador. Mas nós temos, mas não temos matadores. Temos aqueles second strikers que não são o número 9, está na área. Isso aí tens o André Silva e tens o Ronaldo, e that's it.
Não, tem qual é o puto agora do 21, da seleção 21? Gonçalves, não é?
O Gonçalo Ramos.
He looks pretty good. He looks pretty good.
Mas ele também não é o 9, ou é 9?
Atenção.
Ele é 9?
He's a 9.
É Pedro Gonçalves que ele chama.
Não é nada, Gonçalo Ramos.
Não, chama-se Pedro Gonçalves, caralho. Marcou 2 gols agora.
Não, mas isso não é ponta de lança.
Isso não é do Benfica.
Ele é médio.
Não é ponta de lança do Benfica.
We're talking about strikers, Steph.
É o Gonçalo Ramos, o que marcou os 2 gols contra o Paços Ferreira o ano passado. Gonçalo Ramos.
And what's that other guy? Ele é do Juventus. Como é que é?
Do Juventus?
Mota.
Cristiano Júnior?
Não, é Mota. Something Mota. He's a good striker.
Depois tens o Rafael Leão.
Não faz no Rafael Leão, pá. Ele começa.
Ainda não morreu, filha da puta. Não vale um piso.
Que pancada.
Não vale nada. Não é, aliás, o nome dele oficialmente foi mudado. É Rafael Rato.
Mas ainda temos também o Nelson Oliveira, que já esquecemos dele.
Sim, o Nelson.
Ele agora é publicidade de apanhar figos.
George, don't start because you're gonna be like that other guy that we used to have on our podcast. That all he talk about is Nelson Oliveira for years.
Oh não, Cruz.
Como é que era o Neil Fernandes?
Opa, este é um craque lá do Canadá.
Oh, puta merda, man. Even Lampiões were like, oh, get out of our show.
Ele é bom a apanhar marmelos. Não, o Nilson Fernandes é um gajo do caralho, man.
Steph, we're already an hour and 17. We never thought we were going to go this far. Let's do the breakdown real quick of the preview of Sporting Futebol Clube de Porto.
Então, para aí, pelo menos diz a qualificação, o group stage de Portugal, não é? E Portugal is in first place.
Portugal em primeiro, França em segundo.
A Croácia
em terceiro.
Croácia em terceiro. Suécia em quarto.
Yeah.
Next game, Portugal, França, estádio. Não, next game é estádio da Luz, mas ainda temos que jogar com a Croácia na Croácia também, não é?
Yeah. But next game, you're right, it's against France.
Estádio da Luz, na Catedral.
É o salão de festas do Futebol Clube de Porto.
No Cesto do Pão.
No cesto do pão.
Yeah.
Não, parecia um cesto do pão quando os sportinguistas puseram a arder, parecia mesmo, parecia um forno de pão.
Aquele parecia, mas é uma cagatória
para cagar vai-se na WC do outro lado da segunda circular.
Round
apanhar a bandeira é lá do outro lado.
Ou se quiseres também, ou se precisarmos também dos azulejos para o nosso banho, também é lá no outro lado da WC.
Round 4 of the Portuguese League. Gil Vicente Tondela on Saturday, Marítimo Portimonense, Sporting Braga Nacional, Sporting Porto, all Saturday. On Sunday, Belenenses Moreirense, Paços Ferreira Santa Clara, Ferenc Famalicão, Rio Ave, Benfica, and then the Boa Vista Guimarães clash. Preview. We'll do the preview real quick of Sporting Porto because it's in chronological order. Steph, what you got there? What do you expect?
I don't know what to expect. We have so many ifs and ifs because of the COVID-19 and injuries. But believe it or not, we have depth this year, but we don't have a reliable ponta de lança. The Luis Felipe is still hurt. O Esperar está dealing with com a coisa.
Está a esperar.
Não, ele está dealing with
O Esperar está a esperar.
tendinitis lá no repo, caralho. So we don't have. So what I'm seeing Ruben Amorim doing, and it would be smart, is playing with fast players such as Nuno Santos and Upot and Jovan Cabral is back. But then in the center back positions, Quaresma came back from the sub-21 team with a broken shoulder. So now, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So he's out for a month and a half. So Fedal is not up to speed. He's still injured. So we left with Net, Coates, Inácio. Inácio and put muito novo. But he's more reliable than Neto, even though Neto has been playing consistently. And so we kind of shake. I'm hoping that Ruben Amorim, he gives in and he plays with 4 defenders, com Coates e com Inácio, and then com Nuno Mendes e com na lateral com Porro. And he gives up the 3 centrais. We'll see. I don't think he will. But because of that, I'm very skeptical. But the midfield is looking good. Paulinho just renewed for Sporting until 2025. And I could see uma dupla maravilha in the midfield with him and João Mário, a nice acquisition. But I don't know the shape and the rhythm of
I think
João
Mário is going to be playing as a winger.
He could be, and I think that's what he's prepping him for. I think the midfield position might be given to Pot as a number 8, and then João Mário a winger a jogar para dentro. So we'll see. It seems like we have the weakest point I see is our defense because of the injury of Quaresma and Fedal. But besides that, I mean, our goalie, I don't disagree of having Adan instead of Maxi. Adan brings more experience and confidence, and he's shown he's a great goalkeeper, even with his feet. But it's just the center back position I'm scared about. The midfield, I feel good. The offense, I'm okay with it, even though we don't have a striker. But against Porto, I don't know if we could play com ponta de lança de raiz, para te falar a verdade. Because, you have players that we have to contain, like Umarega and, fast players that you have. So I'm optimistic, and I'll give it jogo de tripla, 50-50. I'm not going to give any favoritisms to Sporting or Porto. I'll give it a 50-50.
My opinion is going to be this. I think Porto is going to have a lot of changes. I think you're going to see Manafá move from right to left. I think you're going to see Corona drop to right back. It will be Pep and Mbemba and Pep in the center backs. The question is going to be the 6. Who's going to be the 6? Is it going to be Uribe? Is it going to be Sergio Oliveira? Is it going to be Marco Grujic? I think it's going to be Uribe. I wouldn't be surprised to mark Pot 1-on-1 or man-to-man. I think that might be a possibility. I think the key is to lock him down. You lock him down, you're going to lock Sporting's midfield down. That's just my opinion. Wingers, you're going to see the debut of Felipe Anderson, and you're going to see the Luis Diaz up top as the 2 wingers. The striker is going to be questionable. It might be Marega, but Marega between those 2 center backs, I don't know. If Sporting decides to play with the 3-4-3, I wouldn't be surprised if Sergio Conceição does two strikers formation and we play 4-4-2, classic. And I think right there that's going to be the difference. Vitor dos Molingas over here is praying that Pep and Sergio Oliveira are going into a 14-day quarantine, and they're not going to play. That's what he's wishing for. Tanto dormir or fumar, I don't know what he's doing. But that's not going to happen. And I do expect that Porto has to start playing catch up. This is an opportunity because Benfica does have also a very tough road game at Rio Ave. We got to beat Sporting when they're down. Sporting is not healthy, and that's when I say down, that means that's what I mean by that. They're down because they're not healthy. They're not 100%. They're adapting different players. There's a lot of guys that are not in rhythm. There's other guys that are inexperienced. There's other guys, and that sometimes that plays in players' favors. For example, the Ninasio player that you're talking about, the center back. Sometimes these guys come prepared. They want an opportunity. They finally get their opportunity, and they come focused. A couple of years back, we saw Chidozi make his first team debut at Porto against Benfica, and Porto went to start to lose, and they won with probably his best performance of his career, and then it's been downhill ever since. Obviously, Porto has to play catch-up. We have to win. I say Porto wins 2-1. Steph, what do you have?
I think Sporting will win 3-0.
3-0. Okay. George, Rio Ave.
Hey, wishful thinking. Ok, 3-1. Pronto, gol do Porto, caralho.
Outro gol do Neto. Vai ser outro gol do Neto.
I hope Porto loses, that's it. I want them to be 6 points negative.
Tá bom. Maybe Neto will score an own goal.
Detesto o Porto igualmente que detesto a Benfica. Aqui não há escolhas.
Ok. Rio Ave Benfica. George, what do you got?
Rio Ave ganha. 4-7.
E o meu score do Sporting Porto?
Sorry, my bad. Go ahead, George. This is one of 2 days a year that you can be a Sportingista.
A minha camisola lá em cima do Sporting. Se o Sporting ganhar, já sabes, o next podcast tenho vestido a Sportingista. Porto 2, Sporting 0.
Porto 2, Sporting 0. Okay. What do you call it? What do you call it? George, what do you got? Rio Ave or Benfica?
Eu para dar sorte vou dizer 0-0.
Ei! O empate.
Benfica, não, 2-0 Benfica.
2-0 Benfica. George, Steph.
Foda-se que nome feio, Jorge. Puta que pariu.
Tu és Estefânio Jorge?
Estás copias o meu haircut.
Não, tu copias o meu, que eu sou mais velho. Eu tenho 48, tu tens 32?
Quase. Se eu tivesse 32. Só queria ter outra vez 32 por...
Eu só queria ter 26.
Por meia hora. Só queria ter 32 por meia hora.
Eu só queria ter 26 anos por 40 anos. Anyway. It's going to be a tough game, but I'm going to give the upper hand to Benfica. They've been gaining some rhythm. And Rio Ave, they played against a great game against AC Milan, but I think Benfica will pull it off, and I think they will win Vila de Conde. A tight game, I think. It's either going to be 1-2 or 2-2. That's my guess.
I'm going to say I think Benfica is going to have a lot of problems with Dalla. Dalla's speed is going to give a lot of problems to Benfica.
Unless they give him space.
Well, no, look at the defenders that they got. Otamendi didn't look good against Portimonense, right? Was it Portimonense?
No.
What was the last game? Farense. So I think Otamendi and the combination of Otamendi and Vertonghen are going to have some trouble with the speed of Dalla. Um, Rio Ave has a lot of speed. That's the one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is they got a lot of speed. Gabrielzinho has a lot of speed. Dalla has a lot of speed. Who's the other player? They got Gerald. He's not fast, but I mean he's a guy that does show up to play
Very
big.
smart, very intelligent.
Yeah, he's an intelligent player for a Rio Ave team. I think this is going to be a 2-2 draw. I think this is going to be one of those that I know George was kind of messing around, but I think he's right. I think there's going to be goals in this game, and I think it's going to be a draw. Any question?
No,
Here's a good one. No Guimarães talk, or did I miss it? 3 matches and the coaching change. Hey, listen, David, I'll take this one real quick. Thiago wasn't ready, period.
No.
Steph and I talked about this off the air. This is a guy that definitely was requesting for players, certain players. He didn't get them. And on top of that, you could tell if you watch the games at Guimarães, and when they flashed the camera over to Thiago looked like a man that was puzzled, a man that was confused, a man that had no idea what he needed to do. And obviously, Vitória de Guimarães was well over his head. Well over his head. This guy was not prepared for such a challenge. And at the end of the day, he did the right thing, which was quit. Now, did the new coach that came in, Enriques, that came from Santa Clara, is he the correct coach for this position? I have my doubts, but we'll see. Steph, you agree? Disagree?
I disagree 100%. Thiago, he showed that he has a backbone, and basically, when a team says to you, "You coach at your college level," I know it's way different. We can even compare, but if your president of the club says, "Hey, I'm going to get you the players that you need, A, B, C, D, and E," and then at the end he doesn't get those players, it's a big disadvantage to you. And Thiago showed that he's got a backbone, and he showed that, hey, you're not getting the players I asked you about, and it wasn't. We're not talking about players that costed 3-4 million. It was lower than that, and he quit when he had to quit because he didn't have the team he asked for. And I agree with him. If you come into a team, the team is already made, and you have no choice. I get it. But Thiago said, hey, you didn't get the players I asked you for, so I'm leaving. And I agree with Thiago. It just shows him he's got character, and he's not going to put up with the bullshit of fake promises from a president that promised him the world and promised him everything and didn't give him anything.
He got one player that he wanted.
That's it. And one player that's not good enough. Quaresma, like you said, he's not even good enough for Porto.
Listen, the problem with that one is if you watch the way Guimarães played, they were very interesting in terms of the playing style that they play.
Exactly.
They created a lot of chances, but they couldn't score.
Ok, e então a culpa de quem? Do treinador?
Claro, no, because he was asking for a striker, Steph, and they wouldn't give him.
Exactly. So then you can blame direção de Guimarães. Okay. So one.
You guys know who he was asking for?
I don't know.
I have no clue.
Slimani.
Oh, isso. O Slimani só de bónus queria, acho que 1,5 milhões.
He got pissed off because he didn't get Slimani.
But Slimani was too expensive even for Sporting. These players are fucking nuts. They want he was a free market.
Free agent.
He wasn't a free agent.
He was.
Leicester was going to release him. He still has 1 year contract with
right. But what Steph is saying that they would have released him to go to Sporting for free.
Yeah. But then in return, so para final queria 1,5 milhões.
But that's how it is. But that's usually how it is, Steph. It's a free transfer. You don't have a transfer fee.
But how old is he? 33.
Yeah.
Now 31.
No, 33.
No, 33. He's 33.
33 already? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's 33. You can Google it now. But, 1.5 million for bónus de assinatura, vai para o caralho. Até não chegou ao Ronaldo.
That's how much Vertonghen got.
Mas é por isso que o futebol está uma merda. Os jogadores têm a faca e o queijo na mão.
Eles vêm de graça. Steph, eles vêm de graça.
Até não vêm de graça.
Claro que vêm de graça.
Atenção, o Benfica ou o Sporting o Porto, quando pagam a outra equipa 15 milhões, paga a equipa, não paga ao jogador, pois não.
Não, mas não é isso que eu estou a dizer. A maneira que os jogadores olham é...
Os jogadores não.
Os agentes jogadores. Se eu tenho o passe na minha mão, tu não vais ter que pagar um transfer fee para me trazeres para o clube, então vais dar a mim um bónus. Sabe dizer?
Pois, I understand, but that's wrong. Because não é só o bónus, depois é o salário.
Claro, vais ter que pagar salário.
E chama-se
quanto é que o Manchester City estava a oferecer a quase 750 milhões de euros ao Messi? Se viesse de graça.
Eu só estou a dizer que eu discordo. Eu não estou a dizer que isso vai mudar, que eu sei que isto vai continuar assim. Eu só estou a dizer que eu, como cidadão português e americano e francês...
Mas é uma coisa, polaco?
Brasileiro também? Brasileiro?
Brasileiro não.
Polaco.
Eu, como fã de futebol, eu acho que é uma gatonagem, é uma vigarice e são uns azeiteiros, mais nada. Porque o futebol está no estado que está e os clubes estão na bancarrota porque os jogadores, os agentes, fazem essa merda toda. Está mal. Então, pronto, a mim está mal. Quer dizer, tem assinatura 1.5 e depois ainda tem que dar um ordenado de 3 milhões no nosso campeonato nacional, não é? Porque não pode ser mais. Porque no inglês é 12 milhões, 15 milhões, no italiano é 31 milhões. Com o Ronaldo
nada disso.
Nada disso. É dinheiro a mais, meu. Achas que o Ronaldo merece 31 milhões?
Então não, porque é que não merece 31 milhões? Claro que merece 31 milhões.
É dinheiro a mais, olha que caralho. Achas que é normal?
É dinheiro a mais?
Então não é. Ok. Então, se não achas que não é...
Dinheiro a mais é estar a pagar ao Griezmann 20 milhões e ele não te faz um tostão com 1% do que o Ronaldo faz.
Isto, a quem? Diz lá outra vez.
Tantos. Tens o Griezmann, tens Diego Costas, tens olha, agora o Cavani assinou para o Manchester United por 12 milhões limpos por ano. Isso aí é que é crime, porque esses jogadores ganham o dinheiro e não marcam. Agora o Cristiano Ronaldo, para qualquer campeonato que vá, que tens at least 30 goals.
Imagina uma coisa. Imagina que o salary cap dos jogadores fosse 5 milhões.
Ok, mas isto não é assim.
Imagina que fosse 5 milhões. Havia muitos jogadores que até preferiam ficar em Portugal.
Steph, o salário do Cristiano Ronaldo, vou-te dar uma ideia. A transferência do Cristiano Ronaldo do Manchester United para o Real Madrid foi a maior transferência do mundo. Acho que foi 94 milhões. Em um ano de Real Madrid, o Cristiano Ronaldo já estava pago. Porque vai para uma equipa, mas depois o marketing dessa equipa sobe. Tens direitos de imagem que essa equipa assina por ti e recebe quase os direitos todos.
So what are you saying? That why is Benfica, Sporting e Porto na bancarrota? São os três, não é só um.
We're living above their means.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And we're not paying players 6 million or 12 millions like George is saying.
But you're paying them more than what.
And we can.
Tu estás a comparar coisas que não são comparáveis. Olha, em Portugal o Benfica é o clube que gera mais revenue por ano. São 200 milhões por ano. Tu estás a comparar com equipas como o Real Madrid ou o Juventus ou o Barcelona que geram 1 bilhão.
Não estou a comparar.
1 bilhão por ano.
O que eu estou a dizer é que o mercado de futebol está muito inflacionado, mais nada. E se tu não concordas comigo, então pronto, não concordas.
Não, mas
Para mim está muito inflacionado.
está inflacionado, como está o mercado das casas, como está o mercado das outras coisas. Até haver algum estúpido que paga o que tu estás a pedir, vai-te ficar sempre inflacionado.
Para mim, não me entra na cabeça que um jogador seja pago 31 milhões por ano. Epá, não entra na cabeça. Nem 5 milhões, quanto mais 31.
Não, mas tens Fórmula 1, por exemplo, o Hamilton, que ganha 50 milhões por ano.
Também não justifica. Mas porquê que está a ganhar tanto dinheiro? It doesn't do anything exciting. I mean,
Because it generates more money, way more money than what they're paying them. Obviously, you're not going to be paying somebody 30 million if they're not generating over that for you.
I agree with you that too, but owners that take a risk. If Ronaldo gets hurt, that's it. They still got to play 31 million, and they're going to lose all the revenue as well.
It's not like that, por causa que isso aí tem seguros. Eles têm seguros por todos os lados. They're over leveraged on insurance policies up the cahoos.
Anyway, we derailing. So
Let's wrap it up. So we got Sporting Porto this weekend. We have Rio Ave and Benfica this weekend. We have Boa Vista and Guimarães this weekend. A lot of good games. Make sure you check them out. Make sure that
playing?
I'm sorry?
Who's Braga playing?
Guimarães.
No.
Isn't it Braga Guimarães?
No, Boa Vista Guimarães.
O Braga is playing Nacional at home.
Nacional. Okay.
Which, we don't know about Nacional. I mean, Braga's been having a little bit of difficulty, but I'm pretty sure they found their scoring ways last game against Tondela, and I think they'll be back. So make sure you tune in.
É verdade. Congratulations to my Sporting.
Okay.
Campeão nacional de futebol de praia.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that title was to belong to Braga 4 years in a row.
E para a semana que vem também vai ser campeão nacional de peão.
Tu podes fazer pouco o que quiseres, mas quando vocês ganharem numa modalidade, lembra-te disso que eu também vou fazer pouco. And we won
Corta-mato.
E corta-mato também vais fazer pouco? Não te esqueças.
Não, eu sei que tu gostas. Eu sei que tu gostas das modalidades. Eu sei que tu gostas das modalidades.
Ainda bem que tocaste nesse assunto. Então quer dizer que a Rosa Mota e o Carlos Manuel não valeu nada.
A única coisa que eu me lembro da Rosa Mota é ela levantar-se uns braços e ter mais cabelos debaixo do que eu.
E a medalha que ela ganhou, não te lembras? Por Portugal.
Foi em Los Angeles, ok, também acho que sim.
E o Carlos Lopes, não te lembras?
Carlos Lopes, também. Carlos, lembro-me, não, ouvi falar que eu era um bebezinho nesse tempo.
Estás a insultar muita gente, mas pronto.
Não estou a insultar nada. Vocês, não estou a insultar. Eu por acaso sei que tu gostas das modalidades e isso tudo. Mas um clube não é feito por fãs de peão e de corta-mato. É de futebol. Futebol é que é.
Não é não. Então tens que dizer aos benfiquistas que vivem em Portugal para pôr os dois pavilhões que vocês têm, o pavilhão número 1 da Luz e o segundo, abaixo.
Porquê?
Então, onde jogam o hockey patins, handball, futsal, basketball.
That's to keep the 500, 600 fans that like to go watch that entertained.
You think so? It's much more than that.
Então não é.
So then you're not a real benfiquista. But anyway, o Sporting...
What do you mean I'm not a real benfiquista? What are you talking about?
Because any player, doesn't matter if it's soccer or hockey patins or basketball, corta-mato or peão, that wears a camisola Benfica, you should respect them.
I do respect them. I just
apparently not. Até o Monteiro, lembras dela?
Claro.
Ok. Ela também faz judo, não presta para nada, então.
Não, ninguém está a dizer que não presta para nada.
Eu estava a dizer que o Sporting foi campeão em futebol praia, fizeste pouco. O Sporting foi quem ganhou a Taça Portugal em basquetebol.
Eu não fiz pouco.
Quanto ao Porto, também podem fazer pouco. O Sporting ganhou a Supertaça em ping-pong, também podem fazer pouco. São modalidades que têm tanto o Porto como o Benfica. Se vocês ganhassem, também estavam a exaltar. Também estavam a falar.
Não, quem diz isso? Quem é que diz isso?
Que não ficavas contente se ganhasse o Benfica.
Eu nem sei quem é campeão de quê. Eu importo-me com o futebol. Futebol é o que eu me importo.
Pronto, a partir de agora eu já sei. Agora nunca mais falo contigo modalidades.
Não podes falar de modalidades, sim senhor, porque eu respeito os teus gostos. Não são os meus, mas respeito os teus gostos.
Ok, pronto. Quando o Benfica for campeão nas modalidades, depois a gente fala.
Vais ter que tu me dizer que campeões de modalidades é que é, porque para dizer a verdade, não fala, não. Falo de futebol, olha, futsal, falo futsal, ok, ouço de vez em quando, ok, mas não, I'm not, listen, I respect quem gosta das modalidades, essas coisas todas, it's ok. Mas para mim, o que conta it's what pays the bills, and what pays the bills é o futebol, equipa A, futebol. Masculino,
the water bill and the electricity.
What pays everything in the clubs. Futebol.
Okay, but all I gotta say is o Sporting Lisboa e Benfica é muito maior que só o futebol. Se não fosse o resto das modalidades, o Benfica era muito pequeno. O que faz o Benfica grande é as modalidades também. E quem é benfiquista e não vê isso, não é um bom benfiquista, é o que eu tenho a dizer.
Eu acho que não tem nada a ver de se é bom, se é mau.
Claro que tem muito a ver. Quando o Benfica ganhou o campeonato europeu de futsal, não é?
Sim.
O Champions League foi um grande prestígio para o Benfica, não foi?
Foi, acho que foi um prestígio, grande prestígio, foi um prestígio.
Então, claro que foi, evidentemente que sim, e os benfiquistas gostaram disso. Então, estar a desprezar essas modalidades é um insulto total para
eu não estou a desprezar essas modalidades, eu estou a dar uma opinião minha. Eu não estou a dar uma opinião de mais ninguém, estou a dar uma opinião minha.
Aliás,
e de certeza.
E o Benfica este fim de semana ganhou a supertaça de voleibol contra o Sporting.
Não sabia, vês?
Estás a ver? Agora já sabe.
All right, boys. Let's call it a day.
Bruno, o Steph ganha coisas nas modalidades. Eu ganho coisas nas modalidades. Estou e o Porto.
Também ganho.
Em quê? Bobsledding.
Steph knows I'm a casual fan. I see when they report it on the app.
He's like you.
No, I just watch. I mean, I don't listen. I already told you. I only watch two sports. I watch football and I watch soccer. That's the only two sports. I don't care about baseball. I don't care about basketball. I don't care about hockey.
So you watch the fake football and the real football.
I watch the NFL and I watch soccer. I don't watch baseball.
O Steph agora nem é, o Steph não, o Bruno Crack agora nem a NFL vai olhar, que agora olha.
I watch anyway. I watch my
os Cows Girls dele a semana passada.
Como é que o NFL é chamado de futebol, caralho? Se jogam com as mãos. Aquilo devia ser handball.
Não, é diferente.
Não, eles só chutam a bola ao princípio e no field goal, mais nada. Aquilo é handball, é sempre a apanhar a bola.
Extra point.
E o extra point, mais nada. Até que eu com os meus amigos americanos é sempre a mesma conversa com eles. É assim, why the fuck do you call it football? You only play with your hands. It should be handball. And they get all mad at me. Oh, you real football, you guys fall all the time. But we play with our feet for 90 minutes. What the fuck? You know?
All right. We're at an hour and 48 minutes.
Olha, eu vou dizer-te uma coisa, que se for do futebol americano, andar aí.
Pronto. Okay. Guys, have a good night. Take it easy. We see each other next week.
Americano.
E viva Chau Laura e viva o Futebol Clube do Porto. Mais nada.
O Futebol Clube do Porto, pois, meu Deus do céu, cruz.
Steph, o Flopix, mais nada.
Floppy.